beautiful thing about just being present is that that's where all of your potential lies. It's all valid and it's all one. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm just going to be caking my face. I thought it'd be fun to show you what my makeup is looking like. It's vegan and cruelty-free, and I'm starting off with the Professional primer sample that I've had for the past 5 years. Like, just look at this thing. Yeah, it works, I think. Basically just meant to make your pores smaller, so we're gonna try it out. And I have freshly washed my face and my hands, kind of like doing this tapping method. Not gonna lie, one of my goals of last year was to do more modeling and acting kind of work, and I feel like that definitely came true for me in 2019. I did a lot of random photo shoots, and I did 2 music videos, Ravina and Emotional Oranges, both really different but really cool. I was the main love interest. And I just worked with a lot of makeup artists, basically is the whole point I'm trying to get to. And one makeup artist that really stood out to me gave me a face massage before putting the makeup on, and it was so lovely. And she basically took her 4 fingers and just tapped all over my face. And it's a really great way to move the chi energy throughout your face. So I do this all the time, just kind of tapping and lightly hitting your face a little bit, and it really makes a difference. I do this under my under eyes as well before bed, and it really works miracles to get rid of puffiness and to make your face feel kind of like, what's the word, elastic, full, just vibrant in general. And I stayed in an Airbnb or a hostel when I was in Switzerland, and there was a lot of Korean girls there in my hostel, and one of them was literally just straight up slapping herself and doing it at the same time, like kind of hard, but it really affirmed the ability and the power of kind of stimulating your face, and that it is a beauty technique that a lot of people actually use. And the Korean skincare, like all of their skin looked so amazing, so I've been doing it truly religiously ever since. Today I'm going in with the Found Sealer by Tarte, and I think that's such a funny name, but it's basically a nice multitasking foundation. It has SPF, which I really like, and I just like using my hands for foundation because I feel like it goes on the best. And I love me a good full coverage foundation. I also have notoriously been using this Amazonian clay foundation for the past 4 years of my life, and it is really nice. I'm pretty sure that their foundations have vitamins in them, like vitamin E, and that's why when I put them on, I literally feel like it melts into my skin and looks really natural, which is why I love that. But I decided to start trying a new foundation just to branch out. This is in medium neutral. I'll have you know that I know close to nothing about makeup. Pretty accurate statement. I freaking love New York because people really just be stunting all the time. Like, I could just sit on the subway for 5 hours going nowhere and just watch what people are wearing, what people have on their face, the different modes of creative expression. And if there's a theme for 2020 for me, I definitely want it to be just the ultimate year of expression in any way that I possibly can express myself. I want to do that. So this blends really nicely. I love using my fingers because it warms it up a bit. This is a lot lighter than this foundation. It does kind of feel like clay, and this feels like a BB cream. God damn. Okay, I remember when I was in high school, I would wake up like 3 or 4 hours before school. Let's be real. It was like 2, 3 at most, just to get ready, to do my makeup, to curl my hair. I can't believe how much I would cake my face and how much I cared about people's opinions of me or how insecure I felt without makeup. It's really wild that I would invest that much time in my appearance, because nowadays, I'm gonna be honest, I don't do that at all, and sometimes I wish I made more of an effort to look good. But at the same time, I am really glad that I can feel confident without makeup. And I've talked about this in my skincare, like breaking out acne video, that breaking out, the worst that I ever have in my life, really taught me how to be confident in myself no matter what I look like. It was such a test of the resiliency of my self-love and the strength of my self-love, because I really learned how to enter a room not feeling confident in myself at all, feeling like not cute, my acne scars were like oozing and stuff like that, and just be myself and present myself and know that my love speaks so much louder than anything else. And I am so grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful that the universe kind of made that happen so that I could learn to bring that loving energy with me everywhere I go and introduce that before anything else. And now I can enjoy bringing my loving energy, but also feeling poppin' and kind of decorating myself a little bit, adorning myself. There are constantly different phases and cycles that we're undergoing throughout our lives. Death cycles, life cycles, cycles of abundance, and you can go really deep into this with numerology and astrology. I kind of just like to label and define my cycles for myself according to how I'm feeling, because sometimes if I place a message upon myself or a reading upon myself, then I feel like that's shaping the outcome of my energetic state or of my life. But if I declare it myself, depending on how I'm feeling, like if I'm like, I'm in a life cycle right now, everything is aligning for me, everything is blossoming and blooming in this period of my life, then I feel like I'm going to attract that energy. So I kind of just observe and define my cycles myself, and I don't always like to use outer sources for that. But I definitely think that I'm in a bit of a life cycle right now. Since I got back from my travels through Europe in September and got out of a relationship, I feel like I was shedding so many layers and definitely in a death cycle. Also, like, I have little deaths every single day, or like little things that I know I need to shed and leave behind. And it's just such a beautiful thing to acknowledge what phase that you're in and fully surrender and accept it, and also be ready when it's time for that phase to end, you know, not attaching so deeply to the death and to the shadow, and also not attaching so deeply to the light, because it's all valid and it's all one. It's truly all one. I love the idea that everything is Om, which is something that I picked up in my first yoga teacher training. Everything is divine, basically. Everything on our path, even the stuff that really gets us upset or just seems unfair, unjust. It's all an extension of divine matter and divine energy that makes up all of us, and we can choose to see the God in it. And we can choose to see the divinity in it, the grace in all of it. And by doing so, you just create even a little bit more ease in your life, because you're not trying to control things that are out of your control. There's that one quote that's like, your urge to control everything controls you. So a lot of people like to conceal their under eyes, but my under eyes get really dry, and anytime that I use concealer on my under eyes, it gets cakey and flaky, and I don't like that. So what I just did is I just set my foundation with this Laura Mercier setting powder, and then I slightly contoured using the Fenty Beauty setting powder in Cashew, just very light. And now I forgot to go in with my concealer before, but I am going to conceal just a little bit of scars that I have on my chin. Ooh, that was a lot. I didn't realize like how thick and good this concealer is, because I actually never use concealer. I just got this, and that is some full coverage concealer, hunty. Wow. Oh my goodness. This is really good. I haven't used this. I've heard so many people talk about it. I think it's the #1 concealer in the world. It's Tarte Shape Tape. I recently took part in a little Tantra workshop while I was in Peru, and Tantra is has such a widespread ideology about it, and I love knowing how other people practice Tantra in their lives. But to me, it just means being a fully embodied person. It means being fully aware of all my senses and fully aware of my potential. It means being fully present, which is something that I find very attractive in people, is their ability to be present. Even just having a conversation with someone, I can tell by the way that they breathe, and by the way that their eyes are moving, and by the pauses in between dialogue, how present they are, which I'm not like psychoanalyzing people, but you can tell the quality of presence in another being, and it's just so attractive when you can have like long pauses in between dialogue with someone where you just sit and feel the moment and breathe together. And when someone makes eye contact with you, when someone is just enjoying being alive, basically, moment to moment. It also allows you to fully listen, not just listen to respond, but listen just to receive the words coming out of someone's mouth. And I guess that's one of the ways that I practice Tantra, is simply by being present and dropping into my senses. The beautiful thing about just being present is that that's where all of your potential lies, is right here, not worrying about the future or the past, but seeing what you can do in this moment to raise your frequency, to manifest one of your dreams or goals, to create more abundance for yourself. Like, all of the opportunities are literally only in this moment, so might as well be present for it and make the most that you can out of it. So I've been doing this a lot since Peru, is just doing random tension checks in my body and finding a point of safety within my body, which is usually my hands. So if I'm ever feeling anxious or just a little bit out of it, or I just need to recenter myself, instead of seeking safe space externally, which can be hard to do when you're out on the streets of New York or any city, I have channeled my safe space into my hands. So anytime I'm feeling a little like uneasy, I rest one hand on top of the other. It's kind of just like a mudra. Hold my hands with intentionality and grace, and that energy just washes throughout my whole body, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can access this peace within myself just by gently and gracefully putting my hand on top of the other. Let this wave of grace and peace wash over me with the elegance of my hands, and that has been really helping. And then I straighten my spine, and then I unclench my jaw, and it's like moment to moment presence. Like, how can I moment to moment just remind myself to simply be here and drop into all of the beautiful sensations of right now. Like the wind on your skin, the wind flowing between your fingertips, that is some shit. Like, I love that feeling, and I always tell people I have like sandpaper skin because it's so sensitive, and it's one of my most sensitive senses. I can really feel physical touch. That's probably why physical touch is my love language, because it is so tender to me. But also when I'm in nature, I literally feel like I'm getting hugged, like I'm getting loved by nature when the wind is blowing on my skin. In yoga and tantra, we learned that this body is a yantra, a vessel of higher evolution. So our bodies are perfectly equipped to help us raise our consciousness and evolve spiritually. Even though we have these busy minds that are constantly running, we have this breath and we have all these senses that can really help us to find peace and enlightenment. But anyways, okay, so I just filled in my brows with the Anastasia brow pencil in ebony, which you guys just saw. Ooh. Yeah, last night was a full moon in Leo, which I'm just so happy that I have been connecting to the full moon more frequently and the new moon, because that's a newer thing in my life. I've always been aware of the phases of the moon, but I haven't always done rituals for them. And rituals are really good anchoring practices to recenter your energy, to refocus your intentions, to really check in with yourself. And another way to keep yourself accountable, it's like, oh yeah, that was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that I last set these intentions. How am I doing with them? How am I following through? Where am I being tested? Where can I be more patient? You know, it is a really great way to guide your energy. And it was a full moon in Leo. The last full moon, I had a women's circle in Peru. It was a full moon in Aquarius. And my intention for that was just to really give myself the space to be the woman that I've always wanted to be, and not hold back in being direct, which is something that the mountains told me. When I was in Peru, the mountains were like, be direct, be honest, be bold, speaking more authentically. Not just, this is something that me and my friend Maya were talking about, not just saying things because they sound good and they make sense, but really dropping in with yourself in the present and being like, well, how do I actually feel about this? Like, I've been saying I feel this way about it, but how do I really feel? Just being honest, really, and being present and not holding back. And that has felt really good. And I'm not yet the woman, I guess, that I want to be, but I know I still have some growth and evolution to do. I'm so happy with who I am now in this moment, but even just reflecting on how I used to wear makeup all the time because I felt so ugly without it and I couldn't bear to think of anyone seeing me without makeup or how ugly I must look without it is such a big point of growth for me, and I just want more of that to take place, you know, more of that inner resilience and utter self-love to pour out, which I know I have access to right now in this moment. But I just want to keep practicing it, you know? And I used to watch this girl, I'm not going to say who, but she was semi-popular back in the day on YouTube. She had blonde hair and blue eyes and was white and lived kind of in the South, and I envied her so much. I wanted to be this girl so bad, and I did not have any Asian role models growing up, or mixed role models, because I'm mixed, and I also didn't really have TV, so even if there was like some Asian channel, I didn't have access to it. And I just wanted to be her so bad, and I would get really upset because I looked nothing like that, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes, small, like, I don't know. And I completely forgot about it all these years, but then a few days after New Year's, one of her videos popped up in my recommended. She's still making videos, and I was like, wow, this girl is so beautiful, but I am so aware of my own worth and my own beauty, and I don't have this envy or this like dying, painful urge to look like something I'm not. And that made me really happy. I was just really grateful for how things unfolded and how much more representation there is and how these conversations are going about inclusivity, at least in New York, very progressive place, but it just made me really happy that I can be proud of myself and be proud of my background and feel comfortable in my skin. Just gotta acknowledge that sometimes. Like, I have grown quite a bit. But I went in with my blush on my eyelids because I don't really have that many choices for eyeshadow. And then I went in with my bronzer just a little bit on the outer corners. And now I have this tiny palette from Tarte. And this is kind of just a little sample that I got for free. And I'm going to put a little bit of it on the middle and the inner corners of my eye. I also use the Benefit Watts Up highlighter that I've had forever, just right here and on my nose, and the Cupid's bow. Makeup is such an art. One of the last things that I like to do before I curl my lashes is I'm going to do a little wisp. I'm going to draw out a little wing, which I don't normally do, but it's pretty sultry. It accentuates my almond eyes, so I'm gonna try it out. Pray for me. A subtle flex, a subtle wing. Hopefully I can do the same on the other eye. I mean, you can see a difference, right? I think the key is to be able to see what the wing is gonna look like before you draw it. Conceptualize it. And then to take your fingertip and just slightly pull it out to give it even more definition. I really like this brush because it disappears. I don't have to worry about it getting super dirty, especially because it's going near my waterline. So that's nice. I like that. Okay, now I'm going to curl les lashes. Also, I get a lot of questions from people on how to start their spiritual journey, and dropping into the senses and making a meditation out of that is a great way to start. Just to meditate in any moment that you remember to. My meditation, there's so many different kinds of meditation, but drop into the sensations that you're feeling. And if that's not something that feels very accessible to you, witness your breath, your inhale and your exhale. Observe the things that you have resistance to, anything that you're afraid of. Just inquire deeper. Why am I afraid of that? Where does that fear come from? Do I project this fear onto other people? And allow yourself to objectively witness any walls that you have and learn about yourself. Learn how you respond to certain situations, certain kinds of people. Learn what makes you happy, what makes you feel drained, and be the objective witness to all of these things, and allow that to guide you in your journey. By doing more of the things that nurture you and less of the things that don't, by telling people, oh, I have this wall up, so I'm sorry if I ever project this fear onto you, but it comes from this place. That is spiritual maturation at its finest, being able to see your faults and just own up to them and not need to repress them, but just be like, yeah, I have that thing to work on, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, those are just little ways you can start your journey. And of course, reading spiritual texts. There's so many, to a certain point where for me, I just feel like I need to uncover my own messages and be my own channel for myself. I'm gonna go in with this Tarte gloss kind of thing in nude. This video is not sponsored by Tarte, by the way, but they did gift me a bunch of makeup, so I've been loving it. Okay, and I believe that is it for my makeup. I'm gonna go in with this setting spray. It's called Stay Spray. That's that. I think maybe I'll do my hair really quick on camera. Sometimes I get questions about my hair on the rare occasion that I actually do something with it, so let's see what I can whip together. This is about third day hair, and at this point it gets really dry and really wispy at the ends. My hair is naturally thin, and a lot of people are like, your hair is so dead at the end, you really should cut it. But it's really just because after the third or fourth day it starts to get dry and it like separates from the rest of the hair, especially the bottom. So it looks extra wispy when in reality it's decently healthy, you know, it's averagely healthy. I also dyed my hair a bit in high school, like a little ombre moment. So if you can see, probably can't really tell, but the ends are much lighter than the rest of my hair because it's still growing out, that dyed hair, so it's also just a little bit dead, I'll be honest. But anyways, I didn't feel like washing it today because I really like to wait a long time between washes. I love taking the tendrils out, and then I think that I'll do a slight French braid and have the rest of it just hang. So I'll show you what I mean by demonstrating. Clip back the tendrils that I don't want to be braided. I feel so professional having one of these clips. I don't know. I just ended up doing my hair off camera because it's really helpful to have a mirror when you're doing your own braids. So I just French braided it up to a point, and then I normal braided, and then I just clipped the pieces back so it's a little bit of a half up, half down, and my hair can still be nice and free and flowy. But that is my look for today. I'm just going to a Rebecca Minkoff fashion presentation and meeting up with some friends. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you gained something from it, even just a spark of hope to keep on going, keep on trying to be present, taking the next step on your path. I cherish you so deeply, and I hope you can take 8 deep breaths into your belly after watching this. I'll do 8 deep breaths as well, and I will see you guys in a video soon. Bye!